Am I on? Hi, everyone. Really appreciate you guys coming down this afternoon. We really thank you for attending today's press conference. President Designate Suresh Garimella will be out in just a moment. We're going to start with some brief remarks, and then we're going to move into the Q&A portion, which will be moderated by University spokesperson Mitch Zach. We're going to have about 30 minutes, and we're going to try to ensure that each outlet gets at least one question asked before we move into follow-ups. And when you ask the question, we're going to have 2 microphone runners coming around on the stage, so wait till the microphone's to you, and then state your name and your outlet, and then your question. And we're going to just try to get through everybody as quickly as we can. Thank you again.
Good afternoon. It is my honor to stand here today to celebrate an exceptionally successful search process and the selection of the 23rd President of the University of Arizona. On behalf of the Arizona Board of Regents and the 18 members of the search committee, I am so thrilled to introduce and honored to welcome esteemed Scholar Dr. Suresh Garimella as President Designate of the University of Arizona. Today is a historic day as we usher in a very new era of discovery for this institution under the leadership of Dr. Garimella. Throughout a lifetime commitment to higher education, Dr. Garimella has demonstrated a unique ability to innovate and really pursue a lot of great things while honoring traditions with a steadfast commitment to student development. He is a student-centered, and that is so important for our community. We were very deeply impressed by the profound impact he has made in higher education. His passion for public research is rooted in its potential to spark meaningful change, improving lives in communities across our states, our country, and the world. Let me tell you, spending 5 months with the university community and business community was amazing. I know that probably we didn't get along all the time. That's why we have agreements and disagreements. And sometimes I will look at Regent Goodyear and I say, do I have to have more patience? And he said, yes, swallow it. So this amazing, I would take the 3 regents out. These amazing 50 members was an extraordinary part of this selection. I cannot be so grateful, appreciative, and thankful for all the information that they provided, that they give us the feedback, but most importantly, we have 4,200 staff members, faculty, community members that we listen to. And because we listen, we found and selected the best president for the University of Arizona. So I would like to now pass the baton to one of our stellar member, which is Joeline. And I'm gonna call her Joeline because now we became friends. And as we are friends, everybody was asking me, when do we get together again? So we need to plan like a retreat, right? So Joeline, please, come in.
Thank you, Chair Mata. I am so delighted to be here today to celebrate Dr. Garimella, to celebrate our new president of the University of Arizona. I cannot tell you, a heartfelt woohoo. This was a 5-month process. It took us a long time, and I want to thank our Arizona Board of Regents for landing us a president who shares our values. To land a sitting president of a fellow land-grant university, given that we've had our share of troubles recently, is extraordinary, is happy-making, is deeply, deeply delightful. I am so thrilled. And I want to thank in particular Regent Mata, Regent Goodyear, and Regent Duval, who had to put up with all of us cranky academics saying, eminent scholar. So, have you seen his H-index lately? It really, he shares our values as a land-grant university. He serves his state, his students, and the nation the same way we do here at the University of Arizona. I cannot tell you how delighted I am that he wanted to come here to serve with us, doing this work, this mission, this state, this city, this university we love so much. I am so thrilled, so looking forward to the work we're going to do together. Thank you, Dr. Garimella.
First of all, before I get started, I just got to say, what an amazing day for our university, for our faculty, for our students, for our staff, for Tucson, and for the entire state. So today is the culmination of a long process. Over 5 months ago, we started down this road with a responsibility for our community to usher the institution to the next chapter. As we move this process forward, it was important for our committee to solicit feedback from all corners of the campus and beyond. Through the town halls, the over 4,000 survey responses, and the many listening sessions and individual conversations, our campus and community stakeholders were loud and clear about the qualities that we want in a president to move us forward. Our next leader needed to have a history of distinguished academic excellence as a scholar and as a leader. Understand what it means to serve our students in our state through a mission of access and cooperation as a land-grant institution, and be someone with a clear vision for the future who can bring us all together for the common purpose of achieving even greater heights. The committee listened, and the feedback helped unite the perspective of 18 different community members. And let me also add that an unprecedented 5 faculty members. Look around the nation at the other search committees with 1 or 2. We did something unique here, and it paid off. And we came together to find the right person who could meet the demands of our campus. The qualifications were lofty, nearly impossible, but I'm happy to say that we got the unicorn, who not only meets but exceeds in all the areas that we desired. Dr. Garimella is not only a world-renowned academic, but he has a history of setting a clear vision and achieving excellence in previous roles, overseeing global research and partnership divisions, and as the president of a land-grant university. I speak for myself and the committee when I say that we're extremely excited that he'll be leading our university to even greater achievements in academic excellence and student access and success. So welcome, Dr. Garimella. The future is bright, and bear down. Garimella.
Now I would like to invite our 23rd President of the University of Arizona, Dr. Suresh Garimella. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you all very much. As the days have progressed here, the weight of this expectations and responsibility, it's hard not to feel that. But I truly am grateful for the opportunity to be the next president of the University of Arizona. I'm truly committed to honoring the rich history of this great institution by building on its legacy and moving towards an even brighter future. Of course, I start by thanking the Arizona Board of Regents and the search committee. You've heard a lot about the very intensive process they went through, how much effort they put in to make it a truly inclusive process. And, you know, these interviews are two-way streets, and so they're obviously trying to discover things about me, but they're also representing the university. And I discover things about the university through these conversations. And I will say to a person, whether it be a staff member or faculty that were on it, administrative leaders, Board of Regents members, and just the student representatives, it just showed me that there was great interest in moving forward, in achieving big things, it is hard not to get excited when the group has such big ambition. I thrive on ambition, on institutional ambition. And so I truly thank the folks who got us to this position. Certainly, I think they came to the right decision. So I also would like to acknowledge President Robbins. He's obviously led this institution faithfully and with great skill for several years now. So I will learn more from him to facilitate a transition, but he deserves our thanks. I certainly understand the responsibility, the awesome responsibility of leading a land-grant university. And to me, the primary thing it means is that we have to provide access to a world-class education to our students, and make it as affordable, as accessible as possible, so that students from Southern Arizona, from Tucson, from all of the state, but all of the nation and beyond benefit from the education we offer. Throughout my career, I think you'll see I've had one mission as my primary driving force, and that is to serve our students. Students are the heartbeat of any university, and if they weren't our North Star, their success was not our North Star, then we wouldn't be a university. So you will see me focused on students almost to much more than anything else. And so I think we owe it to the students and the student body. I certainly also deeply believe in the power and the promise of research. I have been engaged in a fair amount of research myself and led research operations. And the research at a university is done by and facilitated by our faculty, our staff, and our graduate students, our postdocs, our undergraduates. And so they are a critical part of this vibrant community, the campus community. And I look forward to building strong relationships and partnership because nothing that we work on together is beyond our reach. So the University of Arizona, of course, is a global leader in research and teaching and engagement. But then there's Arizona Athletics, and I'm very excited about our move to the Big 12 Conference. I'm equally excited to learn more about Arizona Arts, which is a very big part of the ethos of this place. And so these are just two examples of why I'm truly looking forward to joining this wonderful community that is so comprehensive, that offers every aspect of an education or a campus community that you could possibly imagine. And so I believe my experience at the University of Vermont and Purdue University and my life journey through public higher education prepares me well. And I will say I'm ready to bear down. My wife and I look forward to making our home in Tucson and getting to know the community. What I've seen of it, it's so eager, so anxious, so welcoming, and I know there'll be a lot more to learn. And I guess you have my commitment that I will do all I can to help the University of Arizona thrive and become an even more preeminent university than it has been all these years. So thank you very much to all of you for coming. Thank you to all those responsible for giving me this opportunity, and I don't take it lightly. It's an awesome responsibility, and I look forward to working with all of you to make the most of it. So thank you, and we'll open up to Mitch. Thanks.
Obviously, we have reporters, obviously, we thank you all for coming. We also have reporters following us via live stream online. So we have time for about 15 minutes worth of questions. What I'm going to ask is that we allow each reporter the opportunity to ask the first question before we go back, and we will do that time remaining. So with that in mind, we have 2 mic runners. If you would support Garimella by introducing yourself so that we can know you. And we'll go from there. So I saw Craig, I saw you in the back. You threw your hand up quick.
It's a tactical thing. Craig Smith from KGUN TV. Certainly there's always the urge to jump in, have new initiatives, do new things with a new position like this. But how are you going to balance that against the financial issues that are at least in part what led you to be here?
Well, thank you. I'd be surprised if you didn't ask me that question. So I have done my best to learn about the financial challenges, but I really believe that the financial turnaround that the university has been working on, along with the Board of Regents, but folks, our administrative staff and leaders on campus, I'm very optimistic about that. I think that we will accomplish the financial turnaround in a short time, and I hope we will all look back on this as a brief sort of moment in time when we were facing challenges. But the University of Arizona is much bigger than this. We have done so much over so many decades, centuries actually, that to be cowed by this would be a mistake. And we have a very bright future. I'm very optimistic about that. I have a lot of experience in working within financial constraints in higher education. It is not an easy time in higher ed. At the University of Vermont, we're very tuition dependent, and yet we froze tuition for 5 years. We did that at Purdue before that for now 12 years, I think. So, and yet we invested in all the right things and we're able to move forward. So it's a question of looking at your expenses carefully and trying to diversify your revenue and grow your revenue. I feel that my background gives me enough confidence that we will be able to get past this moment rather quickly. And I hope that at a press conference to come soon, we'll be talking about big, beautiful future things. Thank you for the question.
Hi, my name is Ellie Wolf. I cover higher education at the Arizona Daily Star. My question is, with everything this past year, obviously we just talked about the financial crisis. We've also seen, not just at the University of Arizona, but colleges around the country, issues with the Israel-Palestine conflict, issues with encampments. And then with this presidential search, I think there is some disappointment from some community members about there only being one finalist and you not being able to speak to community members before being announced as president. So my question is, how do you hope to bring together what many call kind of a divided campus at this moment?
Thank you, Ellie, for the question. So I've been president at the University of Vermont for 5 years, running the 6th year. And the times are such that each year has brought new challenges. My first year, I had COVID. All of us faced COVID. And then there was the Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd murder. We had sexual assault and violence, challenges that we had to deal with. And then there's the anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, these kinds of things. And then, of course, it wasn't helped by the conflict in Israel and Gaza. So I think that I would submit that my long career as a faculty member, and I guess I feel blessed that for almost 15 years now, I've had experience with leading different roles at universities and also on the National Science Board and was a science advisor at the State Department. These things, I think, prepare me to address any of these challenges. I'm not saying I have the solutions coming in, but you bear the scars, you learn each time. Every one of these things that I've been through, I've learned more from. And so I feel that, and it's not a one-person thing, right? I mean, a president always is the target, I get it. But there's a leadership team, there's faculty, there's staff, and everybody contributing to this, and certainly the direction of the board. So my early priority really would be to work very closely with my leadership team, the deans, the vice presidents, et cetera, to get all aligned, identify with the campus a big vision for us to aspire to. And I think that drives you through the most challenging of times. So it's a generic answer to your question because I was voted on, 4 hours ago. But I don't really feel defeated by those. Through each of these, our campus community has come together around what we call our common ground values. And I think we've each learned better how to communicate, how to be a community, how to support each other. We will have more challenges, but I think we'll band together to address them. So I know you covered this topic. We'll talk often, but you'll see, we'll do well.
Hello, my name is Kanishka from the Daily Wildcat, and my question is similar to the previous, but specifically talking about the student protests. So last semester, there had been countless student protests that have been peaceful and encampments. However, with the previous president, he called upon police from many counties to come down and shut down these protests, and many students felt this was a violent response to their peaceful motives, especially with the police's use of tear gas and rubber bullets. So freedom of speech is obviously an amendment that is provided to all of us. So my question is, are students not able to have access to this? And as the new president, how will you communicate effectively with the students and protect them to allow them to conduct peaceful protests and voice their voice?
Yeah, Kanishka, thank you. You're the student newspaper, so of course you represent the student body, and I would be happy to work with you to communicate as well as we can with the campus. Ellie's question, right? We talked about all the challenges that have faced us. Each one seemed like the most difficult thing we ever did, and yet the next thing comes along and it's even more difficult. And I think the anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, the Israel-Gaza conflict, this is a truly, truly complex and challenging time, and at the same time, the nation is sort of divided, and we're a 50-50 nation. And so the answer to this is not to go more into our corners, but to come together and to be able to talk across difference, to be able to sort of have the courage to express our views, but also listen to other people's views. You may know that I teach a class on civil discourse. You're a student, you're welcome to sign on if I do that here. It is an application process, so maybe you'll be selected. But what we do in that class is we take some difficult topics and do some readings on them. And under Chatham House rule, we discuss these things. We equip each other, ourselves, one another, to better to honestly express opinions without being demonized for something. So I do think the nation needs healing. The campus community needs healing. And I mean, from many things. And I think we all need to get better at speaking with each other. The First Amendment is one of the most misunderstood concepts, at least from all my conversations. There's free speech, there's academic freedom, there's First Amendment. So we at the University of Vermont, we went through a very extensive exercise where I've started a presidential initiative in civil discourse. And the idea is to get across just help people understand more, have experts come and talk to folks. We have a presidential lecture series that has high-profile folks. Nadine Strassen's coming, for instance, the ACLU leader for a long time, and the topic for the entire year is free speech. And so I've just been elected or appointed, so I cannot announce plans for here, but we had our share of challenges in this space. I'm very proud of how we handled it. That was appropriate for the state of Vermont, for the kind of ethos that exists there. And our encampment disbanded with no violence, no injury, no negotiations. And so we just need to continue to learn how to handle these things. And they're not easy answers, but there's no substitute to sitting down and talking. And that doesn't mean negotiation. It just means that we express each other's opinions and listen and try to hear each other. But thank you for that difficult topic, bringing that up.
Hi, my name is Hannah Cree, and I'm with Arizona Public Media. We've had a lot of new leadership come in at the top at the U of A. We had a new provost start last month. Can you talk about what the public can expect with lots of changes up at the top?
Sorry, you're saying there are a number of leadership changes, and what was the question?
Can you talk about what the public can expect with lots of leadership at a high level? Yeah,
well, the acoustics in this room, sorry people, I'm not complaining, are kind of hard, so I've not caught every word. But so I understand that there's been a fair amount of flux, and this happens at universities periodically. As I said, I truly believe that a single individual, however wonderful, it cannot run a university, right? The buck stops with the president, yes, but the provost is in charge of almost all faculty affairs, recruitment, retention, promotion, and so on, and student affairs. And so there's leaders in each of these areas. I know that Provost Glover is a very, very experienced person at a similar land-grant institution from the University of Florida. We have a vice president for research search going on, and I hope we will conclude that soon. So I will very much look forward to bringing some stability to the team, for the team to work together. I meet with my leadership team very often in informal ways and formal ways, along with the deans. So one of my early, actions, if you will, or what I need to do for myself, for our own success, for me to be able to be successful in this role, is to build a team that all functions closely together, that there's no daylight between me and the provost, etc. So I think you should expect to see some stability, some trust building, some confidence building, conversations with the governance groups, faculty senate, staff council, student government associations and such. I've spoken to a lot of them today and yesterday. I spoke with Leila Hudson yesterday on the phone. It was a delightful conversation, and many others. So we will consult with the governance groups. We'll consult with our donors or alumni. I'll seek guidance from the board. But things will settle soon. Thank you.
Yep, this question comes from one of our online participants. This is Theo Wells Spackman with VT Digger in Vermont. Go ahead, Theo.
VT Digger. That's the Vermont newspaper. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Garimella. Yeah, Theo Wells Spackman, VT Digger. I just wondered how you would reflect on kind of your legacy at UVM and what your priorities will be in your remaining couple of months at the university.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much for your interest in calling in. I thought you'd say good riddance and stop asking questions. But look, for those of you here, if you think the Tucson media is active, our Vermont media is a lot more active. And we have a lot of earnest reporters. We actually have a Center for Community News where our students go out into news deserts around the world, around the country, and produce news. And you should look it up, Center for Community News. So I really appreciate the question. So I believe that what I've accomplished with our team and with all the faculty and working with the entire community is to raise the ambition of the University of Vermont. I think that people are expecting that the University of Vermont can be a lot bigger, better, more successful place. Obviously, we've doubled our research funding in 5 years. The number of applications went up by 65% or so. We construct the best classes, more first-gen students, more students of color, more students from outside of New England, and then we take good care of them. We're in the top 5% among the public institutions in terms of retention and graduation rates, and I'm very proud of that. And I think that's our moral responsibility to graduate students on time. And I think that we truly sort of brought to life the land-grant mission of the university. I think I've heard from many that the University of Vermont used to be considered a city on a hill, but now, I mean, we are engaged in every one of our counties, and we're embraced as a partner. So I think that it's a different UVM from 5 years ago, and I'm very, very proud of that the faculty, staff, students, and the community came together to get there. For the next 2 months, I will continue to work as diligently as I always have, and ensure the smoothest transition possible. So thanks for the question.
Hi, my name is Carolina Cuellar. I'm with Arizona Luminaria. My question is, what was the toughest question you were asked during the interview process, and how did you answer it?
That's for the search committee to know and for me to know. Anyway, so, I'll give you an answer that you won't be satisfied with. When you've been a president for 5 or 6 years and have led leadership, had leadership roles in different kinds of universities, Purdue University is very different from the University of Vermont. And I've had, my eye on the University of Arizona for a long time, so I'm relatively well aware of what goes on here. So I wouldn't say that I was surprised with any of the questions. I think the search committee did its due diligence. They asked difficult questions, including whether there were any skeletons in the closet that Ellie would discover, but there are none. And so I think they did a fantastic job, and none of them was surprising to me, and apparently I answered them really well because there was a unanimous vote. So thank you.
So with that, everybody, thank you all for coming. I do want to remind all the media in the room, we do have members of the search committee who are available to do post-event interviews and continue the discussion. But obviously, thank you, Dr. Garimella, and thank you, everybody, for being here. I think you might want to turn this way as they exit stage. I hear there might be something interesting to see.
Let me just thank you all, please. I know how much the University of Arizona means to you all, how much it means to the community. I've spoken with Mayor Romero, and I'll be speaking with everyone I can find. So I know we owe a lot to the community, and that there's a lot of hopes riding on us, and hold us responsible, and you'll see good things happening. So remember to report on the great things we do as well as the other things. Thank you very much.